Welcome back to the channel, baby. Hope you're doing well. Just a little disclaimer because of the videos that we're going to do, what I'm going to do. I do have material coming out every day through Sunday, 3 or 4 a day every day through Sunday. Because I'm trying to catch up. I went through a lull where I wasn't hardly doing anything at all. So I'm going to impose my will, or at least my artistic endeavors upon all of you. I wanted just to say too, it's just ideas are coming in on right and left. But I've got a lot of new subscribers in the last 30 days that are all from different countries, and I love that. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. And if you don't speak the language and I can't translate, I'll still give you a like. I don't have any idea what you're saying, but I'll like it. Great. So what am I doing today? Well, I'm just going to throw one up there. I've got a couple that are coming out today, or probably already have come out today. But it's been cold here, and I've been in this rut in this place that I get into every now and then. I used to love the winter, and the older I get, the more that I hate it. And it's been snowy and cold, and this song will probably reflect a little bit about that. Um, so a little bit of setup, and then I'll get into the video. I'll try not to take too long. Um, I grew up in small town Missouri. I was born in New Mexico. We didn't live there very long. We mainly lived in a small town called Joplin, in Missouri. And then we left there where my mother's family, well, all the family was from. And we moved to Fort Smith, Arkansas, which was also a very small town in the 60s. And so I'm a small town guy at heart. And then later on, I moved to bigger places and went to college and all that stuff. But I started out as kind of big dreams in a small package, right? And I loved rock and roll. I loved it. From when I was little, I could listen to my dad's, Beatle records, Carl Perkins records. I especially loved Ray Charles. So, um, but then as I was growing up and becoming more rebellious with Styx and Rush and Kiss and all those bands, and I surrounded myself with those people. Long story short, yeah, I moved to Washington, D.C., who knows why, and I met a guy, I can't even remember his name now, he's a boss of mine at a store that I worked at. Real good guy. And he invited me to come see a band called the Grateful Dead. And he asked me if I knew who they were. Of course, what are you going to say, no? Um, so I said, yes, I have no idea. I didn't even know where they're from, what they did. Loved the name, though. And when we went, I want to say it was probably 82, 83, 81, 82 maybe. Um, there was a guy opening for them, and his name was John Prine. And man, for whatever reason, maybe the small town roots that I had in me at the time came welling up, and I was like, just purely in love with this guy's voice and his ability. He was kind of like in the 60s and 70s. He was kind of a Bob Dylan-ish kind of guy, but he wasn't as anti-establishment. It was more about growing up and different things, and he wrote odd lyrics, and I loved him automatically. And then I got a chance to see him again much later in Columbia, South Carolina, in a small little cafe with a very good friend of mine, Billy Seats, who watches this channel. And Billy got him to sign his Bible, and we loved it because by that point I had all his albums and I knew who he was. John Prine was an interesting guy, and I'm not going to say anymore. If you were interested in this sound at this guy and this kind of really country kind of welling up that I had, go out and get some of the stuff. Listen to it on Spotify and see what you think. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this. The song is called Paradise, and it talks about I think he grew up. It was either Illinois or Kentucky, where he grew up near a town called Paradise that basically doesn't exist anymore. And he'll tell you why in a song. And see what you think of it. See if it appeals to you in the same way it appeals to me. And it's fine if it doesn't. Really it is. Okay, this is just an add-on anyway. All right, here we go. Let me get this going. Let me get this going up here. The song is called Paradise, and it's not a real long song, but he does talk a little bit in the beginning. There's no music. He talks with his friend about the upbringing and what brought on the song. So here we go.
Howdy, friends, and good evening, neighbors. This is Randy Blake on the Supper Time Frolic from WJJD. For the next 2 hours, you're going to hear your favorite country and western singers. And I have some wonderful news for all you listeners. And I hope you'll stay with us for the next 2 hours.
My dad just put the radio out here and said I heard a quart of beer. This is that house I grew up in, located on Maywood's busiest street, right here in Maywood, Illinois. I spent 20 years here. I guess my first 20 years of my life. We used to sit out here and listen to that radio, though. I guess that's how I got started with the music I make, you know? I mean, I don't know what kind of music I played, but never listened to the radio. And we played the country music most of the time. They played a lot of rock and roll in JJD, too. Rockabilly stuff. Old Elvis and Johnny Cash. I always figured my music come from somewhere between what come across the radio and somewhere between here and Kentucky. Couldn't have come from Kentucky because I wasn't from it. But we used to go down there as often as we could until the town got tore down by Mr. Peabody. You remember that song? You only have to sing it 19 times a week.
It's one of the 3-chord songs, right?
Yeah. I always sing that song. By the way, this is John Burns. John plays guitar with me, and he's my #1 partner in crime. We're bound to become stars someday, or else we're going to go to jail. Right, John?
We're back to Maywood.
Well, that would be so bad. When I was a child, family would travel down to western Kentucky, where the birds were born. There's a backwards old town that's all country mountain. So many times, there were memories warm. Daddy, won't you take me back in Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River, where paradise lay. Oh, I'm sorry, my son, but it's too late to pass. Mr. Peabody's cold train is all the way. Strokes to well, sometimes we walk right down the Green River to the abandoned old river down by Adrian Hill, where the air smelled like slaves and we'd shoot with our guns. But empty pop bottles was all we would get. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River, where paradise lay. Oh, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late to pass. Mr. Peabody's cold train was all the way. Let's play one. With the world like a shovel, they tortured the women and they stripped all the land. They dug for coal, the land was for sale, and they moved it all down as the progress advanced. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River, where paradise lay. Oh, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late to ask it. Mr. Peabody's cold train is all good run. When I die with my ashes flow down the Green River, with my soul roll on up through Rochester Dam, I'll be halfway to heaven with a paradise waiting, just about an hour away from wherever I am. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River, where paradise lay. Oh, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late to ask. Mr. Peabody's cold train Well, that's pretty close to the way the fellow that sings the song sings.
Just like the record.
Yeah. Can't beat that.
All right, guys. I'm gonna get this off of here and then we'll discuss. And then I'll get the other one up. Man, that really speaks to me in ways that I'm not sure anybody can understand unless they're me. Right. That's the cool thing about being me, though. Um, is and anybody really can do this or can be this kind of person. But I don't pigeonhole myself. There is a lot of music that I like, just different styles of music. I saw a girl. I did a video reaction. You should see it pretty soon of a girl playing bagpipes to to an Ozzy Osbourne song, and I loved it. It's great. And then you have this, and then you have I loved Dylan, but then I loved Rush, and I loved the Who. I love so I don't have a pigeonhole. There's a very small set of music that I don't like, and you'll probably one day be able to figure out because you'll be like, why is he not doing this? Oh yeah, he said he didn't like it. What's poignant for me about this is he was quite young. I don't know what year that was, and he was sitting in front of the house that he grew up in, and I love that because I often would go back to the small town Joplin, especially. I lived there after high school and kind of rambled around before Washington, and I would always go to my grandmother's house, even after she was gone. She had moved out from it and lived in it for a while, and I love the small feel of places like that. And it speaks to me in a way I don't think you can understand. Also, he died in 2019 of COVID, but before then he had developed, I believe it was mouth cancer. I don't know if he smoked. I can't remember. I think he did. But he got to where it was almost unintelligible to be able to sing, and then he died of COVID. And it was hard because sorry, I associated him with friends. A lot of people. I lived with a guy who eventually died for about maybe a year, and his name was Phil Yandel, and he was one of the greatest people that ever lived. But he got this album when I was at work. He was at home, and he got this one of my John Prine albums. He started playing it, and he was convinced it was Bob Dylan, and he was like, no, it's Bob Dylan. And he loved it, and he became a pretty rabid fan, as I remember of it. And that's that kind of emotional connection I got out of this music. So what are we doing next? Well, they did a lot of honoring of John Prine because he really did shape a lot of pathways of music, of this kind of music, that people that you may or may not know. I imagine an American crowd would know a lot of these people better than maybe the overseas guys, but it's great music. So I'm going to play Jamey Johnson, I believe is his name, and this guy for me came out of nowhere, and he looks like remember. I don't know if you guys remember when I got my beard down here and I was singing Rose Recovery. That's how he looks, but he's got an amazing voice and an amazing band. And he just, for me, again, he came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it. I immediately loved his voice. I haven't followed him quite as much as I followed John, but because now I'm getting into, music from Thailand and music from India and music, from overseas and a lot of different bands here that I'd never even heard of. But at some point, I'll have to go back to Jamey Johnson. His name is Jamey Johnson, and he's going to do the John Prine song that we just heard. And it's 2019, so John Prine would have just died, I believe. All right, guys, let's get this up. I appreciate your patience with me. I really do. It's been a rough couple of days.
So we're going to do a John Prine song for you.
a child, my family would travel down to western Kentucky, where my parents were born. There's a backwards old...
So I'm going to back this up to the beginning in just a second. I wanted to say that it was that voice that captivated so many people when he came out. And I think he'd been out a while, and he just kind of, he got whatever deal more people to listen to his music. And I have a nephew, one of my favorite nephews, and I'm not going to say which one because then they'll all think that I'm my favorite, which is important. Anyway, who plays guitar and sings and writes songs very much like this guy. And I think he might have turned me on to him. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm moving it back up. Let's go.
When I was a child, my family would travel down to western Kentucky, where my parents were born. There's a backwards old town that's often remembered so many times that my memories are worn. Well, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train just hauled it away.
Sometimes we travel right down the Green River to the abandoned old prison down by Adrian Hill, where the air smelled like snakes and we'd shoot with our pistol, but empty pop bottles was all we would kill. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Prine River where paradise lay?
I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train just hauled it away. Well, the coal company came with the world's largest shovel and tortured the timber and stripped all the land. They dug for their coal till the land was forsaken and wrote it all down as the progress of man. Well, Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is on it away.
And when I die, let my ashes flow down the green river. Let my soul roll on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am.
Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train just hauled it away.
Okay, let me get this off here. Wow. What I was thinking when I was watching that was that so there's singers that I react to here. Pardon my voice. It's better than it was a day or two ago. You can attest. Is that there are singers that I react to from all over the world, right? And like especially in Thailand, like I said, Thailand, Brazil, India. I have some of the best singers that I've ever reacted to. I love it, but you can see the soul of their land in their singing in the songs, right? You just can't. You can feel things. You can. I don't know how to express it, but there are things that you can feel, but you'll never feel what they feel, and that's here. This guy, Jamey Johnson, who I said came out of nowhere, at least he did for me. I felt like they were doing that song to pay honor to John, but they were also kind of, it was like a salve for them to be able to do this. And man, I loved it. I thought it was great. And if you were born now, if you're born, and this is not a strike on anybody at all, but let's say you were born and raised in New York City, L.A., Chicago, some of the other places, Dallas, even Houston. I'm not sure you can understand the feeling that gives you, that it wells up in you when you hear that. And I'm a rock and roll guy. I mean, I've always been a rock and roll guy. I play rock and roll. I listen to rock and roll. But there's something about that, and growing up in this part of the country, that this speaks to me. Anyway, I love this. I thought it was great. I hope you guys did as well. And if you're a praying person, pray that I get some sleep. I haven't slept in almost 4 days. And as I get into those things, and it comes every now and then, and I'm in it right now. So I hope you like this. I really do. And if you did, would you give me a thumb to the point on the way out? And if you didn't, don't give me a thumbs down. Like the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. That's very important because I'll have all kinds of different music. I did, what did I do? I did something recently, and a person sent me a text that was very heartfelt, and she's like, I subscribed on that one. You did something that spoke to me, and that's what I want to do on this channel. Take a song and compare it to another song, and that's all. Like to share with your friends, because if you're in India and you see me react to a song that you love, share it with your friends. You know, there's a billion people there that are going to listen to it, right? And Anyway, like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Now, make your comments, please be respectful to each other. That's all I care about. You can say whatever you want to about me. I don't care. I live in Arkansas and I'm retired. But be kind to each other, okay? And be open-minded. See, like the channel. Oh, hit the notification bell. There's a bell there, and you hit it, and every time I come up with something, it'll ring. If you want to watch it, you don't have to. But if you do, it'll ring and notify you that I've released something. And I'll put it in the description. My wife and I, Suzu, have another channel called Suzu and the Wolfman, and I always say I'm the Wolfman most of the time. What we do on that channel is we react to overseas bands. We don't do any of what I do. It's all really heavier rock and roll, and it's one song at a time. And I think you would like it. I'll put a link to that in there. I'll put a link to my, you can leave comments here. You can leave suggestions here. It's better if you email me your suggestions. I'll get it quicker and I'll do it faster, usually. It's Anothercoverlover16@gmail.com, and I will put that link in the description, and you can take it from there. Guys, I'm glad you came by. I hope you liked this, because I really did. And to all you insomniacs, James Habercorn, and Jeff Kerr, and others, peace, man. Pray for me. I'll talk to you soon. I'm almost hilarious now.